Hello, and thanks for mathing with me today. In this video, we will learn how to use substitution to evaluate expressions. Substitution is when we put something in place of another. What are some real-life examples of substitution? I can think of a few. One, we oftentimes have a substitute teacher. One teacher is substituted in for another. Or in sports, we substitute in one player for another player. In algebra, we often use substitution and evaluation together. We substitute a given value for a variable into an expression, and then we evaluate that expression or calculate the value of that expression. Let's practice substitution to evaluate these expressions in numbers 1 and 2. In number 1, we see that m equals 1 and p equals -3. So we're going to substitute these values in for p and m in the expression, p plus m plus 1. So instead of p in the expression, we are substituting -3, and instead of m, we are substituting in 1. And then we write the rest of the expression. Now we want to simplify the expression. -3 plus 1 is -2. And then -2 plus 1 is -1. Do another example together. Number 2 says z minus the quantity x minus z. But wherever we see an x, we're plugging in -4. And wherever we see a z, we're plugging in 3. So let's rewrite the expression with our values substituted in. Now we want to simplify. Remember our order of operations, we deal with the parentheses first. So we rewrite 3 and we subtract. -4 minus 3 gives me -7. Remember that 3 minus a -7 is like 3 plus 7, which gives us 10. Let's try another one together. In this example, we have y to the 4th power times the quantity x plus z, where we have x equaling 5. So anywhere we see an x, we're going to plug in 5. We have y equals 2. So anywhere we see a y, we're going to plug in 2. And z is equal to -1. So wherever we see a z, we're going to plug in -1. So let's go ahead and substitute our values in and rewrite the expression. So y to the 4th is going to be 2 to the 4th power times the quantity x, which is 5. And then we're adding z, which is -1, so plus a -1, or plus a -1 would be a -1. Now let's simplify. We know from order of operations that we simplify grouping symbols first. So 2 to the 4th power times 5 minus 1, which is 4. And then the next thing we do is simplify exponents. So 2 to the 4th power is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which happens to be 16 times 4. And then 16 times 4 is equal to 64. Pause the video and try some examples on your own. Use substitution to evaluate these expressions in numbers 4, 5, and 6. Hopefully you were able to substitute and evaluate in these expressions. Pause the video and check your work. Let's try a couple more together. In the next example, we have a equals 5. So anywhere I see an a, I'm going to plug in a 5. And we have b equals 5 also. So anywhere I see a b, I'm going to plug in a 5. So here I have a, which is 5, minus parenthesis b, which is 5, minus a, which is 5, divided by the 5 in our original expression. So to simplify, remember order of operations, I need to simplify these parentheses, this grouping symbol first, and within that we apply order of operations as well. So division comes before subtraction. So I'm going to rewrite everything else, and then when I get to the subtraction, 5 divided by 5 is 1. Next, grouping symbols, right? 5 minus 1, so 5 minus 1 is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. Next, example 8, y cubed times z. I'm going to do this example without highlighting. If highlighting is helpful to you, then you can keep using the highlighter. We have y cubed, but y equals 2, so I'm substituting in 2 for y, and I'm cubing it. And then I'm multiplying that times z, which is 7. I'm going to put a little multiplying symbol there. 2 cubed, we're simplifying exponents first. 2 cubed is 8, and I'm multiplying that times 7. And we get 8 times 7, which is 56. In number 9, we have j times the quantity h minus h times the quantity j minus 2. Lots of grouping symbols here. So if you find it helpful, let's go ahead and highlight this one. We have h. Anywhere we see an h, we're going to plug in 4. And we have j. Anywhere we see a j, we're going to plug in 2. So j, which is 2, times h, which is 4, minus h, which is 4, parenthesis, j, which is 2, minus 2. All that's left is using our order of operations to simplify. We see several grouping symbols here, so we always start on the inside first. So we're going to simplify that 2 minus 2 first. That means we're going to rewrite everything else. So 4 times what's in parentheses simplifies to 0, and I rewrite everything else. Next, we're simplifying what's inside the other grouping symbols, starting with multiplication before we subtract. So again, rewriting what's there that we're not simplifying. So 4 times 0 is 0. The next step, we want to simplify the 4 minus 0. So we have 2 times what's 4 minus 0 is 4. We changed our grouping symbols. I changed it to parentheses. It doesn't matter. You can keep it as brackets or you can make it parentheses. And this all simplifies to 8. In this video, I hope that you were able to learn how to substitute and then evaluate expressions. Thank you so much for mathing with me today.